I just finished editing this video of me interviewing Jeremy Pogue, and I'm very excited to show you guys it. And if there's one thing you should learn from it, is never be afraid to ask. And rejection is just something that happens. I wasn't planning on asking Jeremy for this interview. If it wasn't a class assignment, probably wouldn't have asked. But taking that opportunity and asking, I've learned so much, and I've been able to apply it to my life and grow. Thank you so much, Jeremy, for taking the time to film this interview with me. I hope you guys can learn a lot from it. Enjoy. Hey there, my name is Logan Sexsmith, and today I'm interviewing
Jeremy Pogue.
You know it. He is a self-made millionaire, and I'm here to interview him, and we're going to learn about his story today. So, Jeremy, would you be able to tell the viewers your story?
For sure. Yeah, I grew up in Vernon, so just down the road, and I went to UBCO to go into investment banking because I thought that was like the way to make it. I think I just watched a bunch of movies and stuff, and I was like, I want that. I want like a really nice view from my place, a really nice office, and to work a lot, make a lot of money.
Mm-hmm.
And so started a business degree. A couple of years in, kind of realized like I didn't really want to do that. And I started to meet a bunch of entrepreneurs and started watching a lot of YouTube videos of like online business owners that were like young guys, just like being able to travel the world and live in all these like cool places. I was like, that's what I want. And so I'm like, I don't know what they're doing, but I need to do that. And so I ended up over the last like 2 years of my degree, I started to just like kind of buy online courses and really just lean into that to build skills. And I started reading lots of books as well. I did teach myself how to kind of enjoy reading because it sucked, and it still kind of does. But I heard a quote one day that said, not all readers are leaders, but all leaders are readers. And so if I wanted to be a leader, then I knew I had to become a reader as well, because it's really cool. It's like you can learn somebody's entire life story in like 6 hours and like $20.
Just
It's like
a book.
literally, it's such a hack. And so learn a lot from that. And then, yeah, started a whole whack of different businesses, failed a lot of them. And that didn't, well, of course, like you feel bad, but it didn't stop me because I'm like, I will do anything it takes to make this happen. And I guess the trait of entrepreneurs is like, you have to solve problems and you have to be very persistent because it will take a lot longer than you think. It will be a lot harder than you think, and it'll be very well worth it at the end though. But yeah, so started a few different things, failed a lot of those, and then I started an advertising agency running ads for mortgage brokers because my dad was a mortgage broker. So I kind of just like asked him, like it was like low hanging fruit. I was like, well, how can I just help him get more deals? And then learn about ads, building funnels, websites, stuff like that. Then that started to work. I was like, well, if it works for him, why can't it work for other brokers across Canada? And so I started doing that. Spent all the money I didn't have on a credit card to buy an online course. That was like, I think it was like $3,000 or something like that.
Wow.
And yeah, I just went all in, and I was like, let's go. And then signed my first client like a week and a half in, and then I didn't sign another client for like 6 months. I was like cold calling, cold emailing, and sending like Loom videos to people, and they all told me no. There's like so many people. And then I was like, okay, there's gotta be a better way to do this. And so again, spent all the money I didn't have on a credit card to buy a coaching program. So I actually had somebody like kind of look it over my shoulder to like tell me what's working, what's not, how to improve it. And then after about a month or so into that, then I started signing clients pretty much every week, which is really cool. So finally started building momentum. And keep in mind, this is like 3 or 4 years after like starting.
The initial start.
Yeah, of like nothing, like $0 for like years. And then finally I'm starting to sign some clients. My first one was like $200 a month because my software expenses were $200 a month. I'm like, I just need somebody to work with to just get a result.
Yeah.
And then from there it's like $400 or $500 a month. There's like 7, 8, then like $1,000 a month. But anyways, I was signing clients every week. Got super burnt out because I was doing everything myself. Didn't really love who I was working with either. And it was weird because now I was like starting to make money. I grew that to 7, 8K a month. And then I was just like really hating it. But at the same time, my business coach asked me, you he reached out one day. He's like, dude, you're crushing it. Do you want to join my team as my head coach and teach my other students how you've been able to grow? I'm like, sure, can't be worse than what I'm doing now.
Yeah.
And so I just kind of went out on a limb, started taking calls for him, absolutely loved it. And then I became a sales rep, started running his ads, and then helped him grow from like, keep in mind, I think I was 23 at the time. He was 21, making like 40 grand a month US. I was like, that's crazy. Nice. So I just wanted to get as close to him as possible. And anyways, 6-7 months later, like I was blasting ads, just like taking 10 hours of Zoom calls, 6 days a week, just working like a dog. We went from 40K a month to like 220. And yeah, it was crazy. Just like 4 young dudes in our 20s. We're just ripping. And then from there, I ended up leaving, and then kind of flailed for a few months. Like my heart just kind of felt like my time there was done. He kind of made some promises that he went back on, and I was like, I can't trust this guy anymore, so I got to figure it out. And so it took a big leap of faith. I had a condo now, so I was like paying rent and car payment, like insurance and stuff like that. And so I had shut my agency down. I was making like decent money with him, and then I went down to making like zero money. I was like, I gotta figure this out. And so that was, it was pretty wild, because I kept telling myself that I would, but until I burned the boats and went all in, that's when it forced me to figure it out. And so a few months later, I kind of just realized, why don't I just start a business helping people do what I helped the other guy do, run ads, like hire somebody to book in sales calls, and then build content to help kind of warm people up. So I launched my business, I think I was making YouTube videos for about 6 months. I did 3 videos a week for 6 months with nothing to sell. And I had, I think, 240 subscribers.
Wow.
At the time, it's not very much. I finally launched one video that said, hey, here's my new business, here's my new offer, this is what I'm doing. Did 50 grand in my first month.
Nice.
And then, hit 80 month 5, and then dropped down to 20 month 6. So 80K a month.
Bit of a shift there.
Down to 20. I turned my ads off, and like I had to rebuild my program because I just signed way too many clients. So I was like, I have to stop.
Yeah.
And then I turned them back on. Month 7 hit 100K. Month 8 hit 217. And then that was 2 years ago. And then since then, built out a bit of a team. Hit some nearly cracked 300 back in March or April. But I started getting really like burnt out, lost passion and vision for what I was doing, and it just didn't really feel aligned anymore. And so last month, after a good conversation with the man upstairs, I realized I needed to just strip it down, rebuild it. And so I let go of my entire team, and I'm rebuilding out a new program right now. And so kind of again, like revenue's down for sure. But at the same time, I have no expenses. It was kind of nice.
Yeah.
And so I can just chill and whatnot, take my time building this thing out. And haven't felt this excited and creative and free in a couple of years. So
nice.
At the end of the day, we're problem solvers, and that's what we get paid for.
All right. So I got a couple questions. I'm sure the viewers are wondering it too. How do you push past failure when you don't see results?
Great question. I think at the end of the day, like, you can choose to like push past failure, but also you can like set it up in a way which like you can get pulled through failure. And so, for example, like when I failed, like all of those businesses that I started, like I did like drop shipping, affiliate marketing, like a whole bunch of other stuff, selling on Amazon, and like none of them worked. But I didn't lose faith, and I didn't lose hope, because I had a vision so clear. I had a really powerful reason why pulling me forward through all of that. And I was like, okay, let's say this sucked. What skills did I learn from that experience? And then, okay, what can I do? Like, how can I take those into the next one? And then the next thing, and the next thing. So every failure is not necessarily a failure, because it's like a stepping stone getting you closer to the one that's gonna really work. And if you think about like your skill set as a pyramid, the wider your foundation, the taller you can build it. And so if you just focus on just learning new skills, trying stuff out, and just doing that consistently every single day, then over time you're gonna build a really wide foundation to be able to build really high, really fast as well. But at first it happens very slowly and then all at once.
It's a really good metaphor, actually. What would you say is one book that really changed your life?
The first book I ever read for fun was Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill, and that one just like blew my mind and showed me what was really possible. And so that's a great starter book for anybody. Right now, like I read a book every single week, and so I read some incredible ones this year. A lot of them are kind of more like deep down the rabbit hole, but that's a really, really good place to start. Think and Grow Rich, As a Man Thinketh is another one that's nice and short. U Squared by Price Pritchett, it's also a really good one. It's only like 40 pages, but it's pretty hard to.
Nice. If you were able to go back in time 10 years and talk to your younger self, what is one thing you'd say to them if you could?
Get really comfortable in the trenches. I think the more time you spend kind of rolling up your sleeves, getting your hands dirty, and just kind of getting kicked in the teeth and dragged through the mud, the better it is in the long term, because you really learn how to get through the failure, how to kind of dust yourself off, and you build incredible skills, lots of experience, and ultimately that's how you build a business that's successful and stuff like that after going through a lot of years of not having it. And so looking back now, it's like during that time, I was always trying to like escape. I'm like, oh man, I just want to like be at this level. Yeah. And like looking back, it's like, man, I wish I worked even harder. I wish I just like said no, blocked in the distractions to a lot of other things that would pull me away from my vision of my future, and really just kind of like lean into the pain, lean into the discomfort, lean into just like learning new skills and just like reading more books and like really studying my craft and just business as a whole. And so I wish I, tripled down even harder on all the stuff and just did more volume, more reps, and then just build a lot more skills.
Sweet. For you personally, how do you find and pick a personal mentor?
I actually just invested in one this morning as well, and that one stung a little bit. But
expensive.
Yeah, but that's a good thing because I need to take it seriously. But for me, I kind of look at like, does this person have what I want? Is this person living the life that I want? And does this person have like the business or the lifestyle that I want? And if yes, awesome. And then I kind of look at like, do they have values that I respect as well, right? Are they actually living how I would like to live as well? And so there's a lot of people out there that are like, just kind of like yelling really loud, making a lot of noise, but that's not really my style. I'm kind of more of like, calm, collected, just kind of like matter of fact. And so I like other people who are like that too. And I think it's important to understand like your values, and then you can, when you establish that first, then you can kind of see other people's values. Do I align with them? Do I resonate with them? Do I like their message? And then from there, just try and get close to them. And like that first business coach that I hired years ago, like he had the lifestyle that I wanted. We aligned on a lot of levels as well. I felt like I knew him on such a deep level by just watching his YouTube videos for like a year. And I was like, that's awesome. Like, I want to get as close to this guy as possible. And so like I paid to join his program, but then also like after that, it kind of got me in the door. And then he offered me a job to work for him. And I literally shut down my business that was making like $7,000 to $8,000 a month to work for him full time, just getting even closer for that proximity. And so last year I spent a lot of money on mentors and events and masterminds and stuff like that, like around like $250,000, which is crazy to think about.
That is kind of crazy.
And, but man, like it helped me make 10 times more than that last year as well. So it pays off.
Sweet. If someone is wanting to live a life similar to you and they're around my age, what are some habits you'd recommend them picking up around this time?
big one is going to be reading. I love journaling as well. I journal every single day, and usually a lot of it's like nonsense. I just kind of brain dump some stuff, but I find it just helps me get super clear on kind of just where my head's at. If I'm stuck on something, I write it out, and then I can kind of see it really clearly. It's a great way to kind of get emotions out as well, so they don't bottle up. Another thing too is I built a spreadsheet like way back in the day, because I used to be like super undisciplined, super lazy, and like very resistant to like actually doing the hard, boring things that I knew I needed to do. There's a lot of like pain associated with that. And so I just made like a super simple spreadsheet, I printed it out, and on the top I just had like all of the habits that I wanted to install into my operating system, into my brain. And so I track like what time did I wake up today? Did I do like my morning like visualization kind of vision board mindset work? Where I have a really good like resource on this too. I can send it to you after, but basically creating like a vision board, getting super clear on okay, what exactly do I want? Let's put it all there. What's the type of person that I want to become that can just attract this life, create this life with ease? And then like, am I actively going through that? Like journaling is one, exercising is another, like how long did I work that day? How many like outreach messages did I do? How many calls did I book? How many sales did I make? Like tracking all the stuff there is really important. Then you can kind of see like what actually works. I think for like a lot of guys in particular, like I know one thing I struggled with a lot was like, I don't know if I can talk about this right now, but I'm going to because it's like
Part of the interview, yeah, go ahead.
the most important thing. But like I used to struggle a lot with lust, and like when you're alone at home, it's easy to kind of give out your energy and waste it. But if you learn to retain that and to channel that into your work, into exercise and stuff like that, I think that's the number one cheat code to life as a man.
Sweet. For a young entrepreneur, how would you recommend coming up with a successful business idea so they could make some money off of it?
Yeah, so it really, at the end of the day, it really starts with like the value that you provide to the market. And so in order to add value, like in order to receive money, we have to first like give more value to somebody else than what they think the money's worth. And then they'll give their money to us. And so we need to start with solving a problem. At the end of the day, all we do as entrepreneurs is we just solve problems. The more painful the problem, the better. And so a really good place to start is like figure out somebody that you want to work with, like a type of person, a niche, an industry, and then identify their bleeding neck problem. And so what's the one problem that they have right now that like they have to solve? Because if they don't, it's just going to keep bleeding and they're dead.
Yeah.
And so a lot of times where entrepreneurs go wrong is they try to solve a problem that they think the market has, but in reality, the market doesn't really have that problem. Or they do, it's just not a priority.
So what you're saying is like, don't try and reinvent the wheel, just kind of use it to your advantage and build off of it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, let the market tell you what they need. And so that requires you to go out and have a lot of conversations and talk to people and then just listen to them. And so I think a lot of entrepreneurs that fail are selfish because they're like, this is what I want to do, and this is what I think I'm good at and how I can add value, but they're starting with the solution. If you start with the problem, then build your solution around solving that problem in like the fastest, easiest, cheapest way, then that's what's gonna really, really allow you to take off.
Perfect, thank you.
Of course, man.